All right, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Mortalis Brewing Company, and they are out of Avon, New York, and this is their Zeus. So they're calling this one a double IPA that comes in at 8% alcohol by volume, 77 IBUs at the time of review. This can is just over 1 month old. So I've reviewed a lot of beers from Mortalis on my channel, but I don't believe I've ever reviewed a hop forward beer. So when I went to the brewery recently, it's about 2 or 2.5 weeks ago, I picked up a bunch of different beers, some I sent out in beer mails, and I decided I was going to get one of their hop forward offerings. So I got Zeus. I've heard really good things about this beer, never had it myself, and I ended up sending out 3 cans in beer mails, one to a very good friend of mine, a fellow beer tuber, Ridge over at Ridgeopolis, aka Get a Nose on a Beer Reviews, and 2 viewers of the channel, Jeff, aka No Jinx, and Dan, who sent me the big Pittsburgh haul. Now, Dan drank it, gave it a 4 out of 5 on Untappd, said pretty solid, but he was happy with the quality of Pittsburgh hazies in comparison. Jeff said it was really good, gave it a 4.25, and Ridge's can was undrinkable. Terrible, he said. It was off, so I don't know if it was oxidized or whatever, but nowadays, I feel like I'm seeing a lot more oxidized IPAs. I've reviewed 2 or 3 on the channel over the past couple months, courtesy of Ridge, one from another good friend of mine, a fellow beer tuber, Tyler, over at South 10 Beer Reviews, and it just seems to happen. So I'm hoping that this one is more like Jeff and Dan's can as opposed to Ridge's, but we will see. Anyway, I'm going to crack this one open, get it into the glass, and see what we got going on. So I'm hoping that this is good and this is not oxidized or off or a bad can, because that would be disappointing. We'll see. Give it a pour here. Well, it's looking beautiful. I'll tell you that right now. Looks real nice. I don't know the hops or anything they're using in this one, so I just know that a lot of my friends have enjoyed this one in the past. So yeah, that has so it's a little bit darker. It has like that turkey gravy kind of look to it, very murky and turbid. About a finger, a little over a finger of an off-white, super creamy looking head. Looks nice. It's good nose. Yeah, smells good. Whew. So there's a huge candied fruit component, more citrus. There's orange, there's tangerine, there's grapefruit, big citrus. What is that? A little bit of like a stinky passion fruit, maybe guava. Yeah. Now I'm getting a little bit of the malt here. Maybe that's a slight oxidation. There's a little bit of malt character. It's almost like a slight bready caramel type of thing, but not too bad. Ooh. That passion fruit is now opening up, and it's real big on my nose. There's this nice, like, almost like, shout out to Ridge. I've noticed he said this in reviews lately. So a lot of times when I say, like, herbaceousness or kind of dankness, I usually go to, like, basil and thyme. He has said scallion and chive. And this has, like, a chivey kind of feel to it. Yeah, smells pretty good. Doesn't smell anything like that's going to blow my socks off. No. But it doesn't smell super like oxidized or off or anything. So we'll see about the taste. Anyway, cheers, everybody. So maybe the beer isn't off, but maybe Ridge is interpreting these flavors as being off, or maybe that's just his palate and that's what he got, or maybe his can was fucked up. This is different. This is a different type of IPA for me. Double IPA. Right at the forefront, it's under-ripened citrus. It's under-ripened citrus in terms of there's like an under-ripened, rindy kind of orange and tangerine and grapefruit. As we were at the tip of the tongue, there's like a bitterness at the tip of the tongue, which is something I don't get a lot of. Shout out to another good friend. Just shout out everybody this review. Another good friend of mine and fellow beer tuber, Kyle, over at No Hype Beer Reviews. There's been a couple of reviews over the last month or so where he said, like, you know, the bitterness kind of hit me in the front and not in the back of the palate. And that's kind of what's happening here. Right at the tip of the tongue, a lot of citrus. Pass through, passion fruit, guava, different nose, something nice, something that I don't get. I mean, I get passion fruit, but passion fruit and guava, not typically. As it hits the middle of the palate, there's this real big, ranky dank, chive, garlic, onion type of thing going on. Like, it's a combination of those vegetables along with a little bit of like herbaceousness. It finishes semi-dry with a mild bitterness, but this isn't sweet to begin with. So underlying like bready, doughy type of malt sensation. Can't taste 8%. The body on this one, like lower side of medium, a bit thin. Mouthfeel, a little bit more carbonation than I anticipated. I thought this would be more soft, smooth, and creamy. It's more carbonated with a little bit of a nice smoothness on the finish, but not great. I will say this. I don't think this beer is bad at all. I think it's pretty solid. My can is clearly not off based on what I'm tasting. Beers that I've had recently that were off, Houston Hazier from Spindle Tap, the Dewey High in the Pyrenees, definitely oxidized, and one of the outer ranges seemed a little bit off too, but not like totally terrible. This doesn't seem off at all to me, but I will say I'm a little bit disappointed, honestly. I thought this one was going to be a lot better than it is. I mean, it gets a pretty high rating on Untappd. I've had some friends in the past say this is their best offering from Mortalis. I'm going to have to try this on tap next time I go to Mortalis and they release it. Just see how it is on tap for comparison sakes. Is it bad? No, this is actually pretty good, pretty solid. But I'm not blown away by it. It's a solid, good, well-made double IPA. And I like the uniqueness from the flavors, but I don't think the uniqueness of flavors necessarily dictate that it's good or it doesn't make the beer good because it's unique. It just makes it unique. And I think that the uniqueness is nice, but I still would like to see this one a little bit better for my palate. It's fine. So I think it's a good, tasty, enjoyable double IPA, but I think the expectations that I set for it myself personally, they didn't meet them. So Zeus from Mortalis, I'm going to give this a low 4 out of 5 and go 3.9 out of 5. It's the best I can do on it. I think on Untappd this gets like a 4.35, 4.4. Nowhere near that for me. Definitely almost basically a half point away from that. I just think this beer could use a little bit more of a fruit explosion, a little bit more sweetness. That ranky-dank garlic onion slash, again, chivy type of finish I do enjoy, but only if the front of the palate has more of a sweet fruit kind of note. And I don't think there's enough. I know this sounds crazy in this day and age with so many New England style double IPAs and IPAs that lean sweet without any bitterness. This isn't necessarily bitter, but it doesn't have enough of that sweet, juicy fruit kind of character I'm looking for from the style to balance it out enough for my palate. That's why I gave it a 3.9. Price and availability, $20 a 4-pack, which is kind of the going rate for something like this. Availability, Mortalis used to be brewery only. Now they get, distro all over the place. I know, did I mention Tyler earlier from Southtown Beer Reviews? If not, another shout out for another fellow beer tuber. But he sees their stuff occasionally. They get drops down in Southeast Tennessee. So they get crazy distro as far as I know in terms of like where I expect them to show up. Here in Buffalo area, they have gotten some distro into brewed and bottled in Lewiston, New York. So I think you're going to be able to see more Mortalis stuff popping up over the next year or two. And I highly recommend picking up their heavily fruited sours and some of their pastry styles and stuff. Those shit fucking delicious. This, though, IPA-wise, I don't know. I think it's a solid, good, well-made double IPA. It's just not blowing my socks off. So that was Zeus from Mortalis. If you've had this one before, let me know what you think about it. I'm sure a lot of you have had this one because they have released this one numerous times over the years. So if you're in the West New York area or anywhere else and you've had Zeus, throw in the comment section, what did you think about it? Did you have this specific batch just for references purposes? This is the batch they released in late December of 2021, I think. It was like right before the new year. So if you had this batch specifically, post in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about it. Again, 3.9 out of 5, solid beer. Just not something that just a beer that I thought was going to be better. It happens. Anyway, I have more Mortalis on the way. I don't know when you'll see this review, but again, I went on a little excursion to Rochester, picked up a bunch of beer, went to Mortalis, bought 4 different 4-packs and a bottle of a pastry stout, and you'll probably see a lot of those reviews before this one. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, until next one. Cheers. Oh, yeah. 8%? Nope. How's the alcohol level? So, anyway, until next one. Cheers.